Thanks for coming on, Yusef. Great to have you on, mate.
Well, thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah, no worries, mate. So I think let's start where it all began. I know you grew up in Tottenham. Tottenham's got a bit of a reputation now for being a lot rougher than it was when I was growing up. But
That's right.
why don't you take us back there, man? What was it like?
What was it like growing up in Tottenham? To be honest, I really liked my upbringing. I think it had like a very strong community, which I don't really see nowadays. And I feel like you get that quite a lot in places where you see a lot of middle class, low class people. But there's a lot of advantage and disadvantage growing up obviously in places like that. My parents were very poor at the time.
Where were your parents from?
My mum's Italian, my dad's Algerian.
Nice.
So we come from like a very mixed background. I actually didn't like to speak English until I went to school like in year 3.
Okay.
So it was quite hard also to like just adapt to a community where people are very foreign, but not many people speak Algerian or Italian. You know, so yeah, growing up in Tottenham was amazing. You know, I learned a lot. There were certain skill sets, certain things that I use now to my own advantage. The fact that I grew up in a place where, you know, poverty was big, you know, you're having the disadvantage of, you know, having opportunities given to you or shared with you. So yeah, we grew up in a council estate called Ida Estate. It's like the heart of Tottenham, next to Seven Sisters. And from like a very young age, just got involved in gangs because we were obviously influenced by the people who we used to sort of look up to, people who used to think that used to inspire us from the watches they had, you know, the cars they drove. And obviously when you grow up in a very vulnerable area, you're easily sort of influenced when you see someone that, you know, wants to give you that guidance. It's like an older for you, or like someone who's like some sort of leader,
like a father figure.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when like obviously my dad was in prison at the time, and my mum was struggling. So we even like struggled to live where we used to live, to the point that we had to go out there from early and try and make money. You know, and I think money is one of the biggest key point for people, you know, who live in an area where it's full of like disadvantages, because I think anyone out there is just going out there to try and hustle. And those who make money but make the mistakes are just using skill sets and wasting skill sets that they can use in the business world, in the real world.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so these are things that I sort of developed within myself. I just wanted to make money because I wanted to be in a position where I can move on with life, at the same time be in a position where like I can sustain and help my family, which is quite hard.
Yeah, right.
You know, because that's our main goal. Anyone in the hood, the main goal is to get their family out of what they're in. You know.
So I know, obviously we spoke off air a little bit about sort of your gang affiliation growing up and stuff like that, and I know you're drawn to it because of sort of the role models, the father figures in there. But you know, what happened within that? So you sort of joined this gang at a young age. You're all sort of hustling. You're all trying to make your way in the world. Like,
see, I see a lot of people jump on it for the hype, or like just to be involved for the fame or the clout or wherever it is for. For me, to be honest, it was more like I was respected from a very young age, because obviously when I got myself involved, I was just very good at everything I did. I just had this mindset, which I use right now, of being the best. And if I was going to do something, I'd do it properly. So I was just taking advantage of being this vulnerable kid who just had this driven mindset of whether it's making money, whether it was like, you know, dealing, whatever it was, that I want to be the best at it, and I'll give it 100%, and I'll go 100 miles per hour with it. So I feel like the older lots of the friends around me just saw me as this role model, this savage kid that was willing to do what it's got to do to make it happen. So in the beginning, for me, it was like, I didn't like the circumstances I was living in, the environment I was in, the people I was around, and I used to see a lot of crazy shit from a very young age, you know, that I was given big responsibilities. So when I was in the hood, there was moments where, like, you know, I was given the responsibility to run a brothel for the older lots, and my responsibility was to keep it safe and to make sure that, you know, no one came and mugged the girls, or like everything was kept in house, and, you know, there was no snitches, there's nothing going on. So that's one big thing I got involved at a very young age, and I had to become very violent and defensive to what I had to look after. So there were certain things that I got involved in, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But at the time, you won't think it's crazy. Now looking back on it, I think even rare, this is what I used to get up to. Then there's moments like when it's just like a protection thing where you're helping a friend out who's been mugged by another person. So all of a sudden you're riding out, but guns and knives are involved, and it's like you don't have that fear of carrying one or going out there to cause damage, because your defense is, this is my bro. You know, you do whatever it takes to sort of defend him. And another big thing was like I was very vulnerable because being a white person in a very sort of black environment, I just felt like I had to sort of always prove myself, because you don't really gain respect, especially as a white boy within a community where everyone's mainly black, or people have this fear like, you know, if someone's black, you know, you should be intimidated or scared of them, or, you know, they're gonna mug you, and you don't really get that affiliation from a white boy, you know. So I did have that sort of vulnerability and insecurity at the beginning to just try to prove myself, so I'll get up to anything. And then after, it was just, once you get over the crazy stuff, it was about dealing with like responsibility that people wanted you, you know, to sort of defend what they were creating. So the older lots will use us youngers to do the damage, or like go out there, commit such crime just to protect what they were trying to do behind the scene, which is obviously make money, but use us as the front of whatever was going on to make sure that it was like protected. So they would like give us weapons, give us things to use, the fact that we were so savage that we had no fear to go out there and do whatever it took to keep it safe, you know. And then as you grow up, you start to realize like, look what you're doing, look at the risk you're taking, that you start to realize that, you know what, it's time now just to try and make money. Because, you know, when you're going back home and there's no food on the table, bills are not paid and stuff, you understand it's like, oh look, these lot are doing this to make money. So then after you get involved in like things like going OT is like the countryside, where, you know, people would do certain things to create, you know,
county lines.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
That's what happened. You get involved in that, you get paid, you get mugged, you get robbed, you know, you get caught, and then it's just, it becomes a system. But it's the skill sets that needs it for it to run are such great skill sets that if you do the right things,
if you transfer
them, it's like running a business. You know, it's a full-time business. And the way it's operated, if anything, you got to be very smart. So you start to like think 10 steps ahead, because now when you're not doing something legit, in the back of your head you're just thinking about getting caught 24/7. But you got to come away from the mindset of getting caught and just use that energy and believe in yourself that you won't get caught. So you're just praying this sort of like defense, or like you start to do things to sort of like stop you from getting caught. So you become really smart. You know, and these are skills that you don't really need in business, and people don't really implement it in the business. People always think, oh, you know, when it comes to a business, if you're doing the right things, you know, just go with the flow. But from creating these skill sets back then has helped me a lot now in business to, if I want something, I want to make sure it works. You know, if I'm going to create something, if I believe that I'm going to be a trainer, I'm going to make sure I'm going to be the best trainer. Or like, if I'm going to make money, I'm going to make real money. I'm not just going to get involved just for the sake of it. If I'm going to help someone, I'll actually help someone. So,
did you feel the pinch of trying to provide for your mum as well? Because obviously you said your dad was in prison. So not only did you have to provide for yourself, you also felt like you had to contribute towards your mum's welfare as well.
I mean, both my parents sort of gave me that father figure from a very young age. You know, in respect to my dad and my mum, you know, they're amazing parents, but they just always had that financial disadvantage. My dad being an immigrant, getting deported in and out of the country, you know, my mum coming to our country with 3 young kids, not having that advantage to work and being very ill. I just took that initial responsibility from a young age to be that father figure, you know, and it's paid off because I'm able to sustain and look after them now, you know. So definitely had that pinch in my mind to always go out and get. And obviously from a young age, you don't always know you're going to go and make money and stuff. When you sort of jump on the roads, it's like you do it because that's what you know. It's like playing out. People used to go out and play, not down ginger, we used to go out there and just try to do crazier stuff.
Hustle,
so
basically.
Hustle, pretty much hustle,
What? So obviously, you know, you end up going to prison, but I presume prior to that or in between that somewhere is where the stabbing took place. You know, you said.
Oh no, that actually happened after I come out of prison.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll come to that after. Run us through sort of the run up to, you know, the hustling. We've got all of that, and now you get caught. You end up going to prison for, you know.
Yeah. So basically, we got caught on respect of joint enterprise. You know, there was a big case going on, 10 co-defendants, and I was the youngest in the team. I was 15. My brother was a year older than me. 2 other my friends were a similar age, but the rest of them were like in their late 20s, 30s. And it was just something we got caught up doing crazy shit for like 3 months. Eventually, like, there was a case built on us, and they had to shut it down because people were getting killed. You know, like, people were getting into deep shit. So eventually, once they arrested the right people they wanted to arrest, for us, we were like an easy go-to to get rid of us. They just wanted us off the streets. and yeah, they managed to catch us. And then on the process of going through, you know, being on remand and working towards trial, I end up like, I was given bail in the beginning, and I end up going back to the judge saying, look, I want to start serving my time because I'm just going to plead guilty for certain counts. And I did that strategically so that when it comes close to the trial, I was going to try appeal to get a release, but just to show that understanding of the judge, like, oh look, I'm going to play the victim now, I'm going to play the innocent person, like, I want to accept what I've been, you know, found guilty for. And when my brother actually went to prison, he was actually isolated from being around the people he wanted to be with, that he got put in a wing with the opposite side. So
you mean like sort of your rival rival gangs and stuff. That's like that? Right. Yeah.
So my mum.
So is your brother older or younger?
He's 9 months, 2 weeks older than me, so similar age.
Okay.
But he was never really involved.
Right.
You know, I sort of put a lot of pressure on him, especially being the person who was like quite known in the street. He sort of had to deal with all my problems just because he was my brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when he went to prison, it was quite hard. He found it quite hard a little bit, and he's not got the same mentality. So I actually spoke to the judge and said to him, look, this is one of the reasons why I want to go in prison from now and start serving my time. And he's like, I've never heard that before. Never heard of any individual said, look, they will give him bail and they want to go to prison now and start serving their time. So I end up doing that, and then coming close towards my trial, I started appealing for like 3-4 weeks, trying to get this like release, or at least get like an early or get like a shorter sentence. Come to trial now, once we all got sentenced, I got sentenced 2.5 years, but I managed to talk myself out of not getting sentenced and getting a road sentence. And then I had to obviously serve like tag and do like probation, community service and whatnot.
What prison were you in?
Feltham
Young Offenders.
And even the whole side of thing, like the judge said to me, I've never had an individual ask to go prison service time now, knowing that I was going to get sentenced, and then also write back to me in a very sort of strategic way where the judge like, I'm just going to give you this opportunity because I see the bright side in you. And I just wanted him to know that I was just doing this for my family, you know, that whatever I got caught up, I plead guilty and, you know, accept my mistake, but I'm willing to make a change. And you know what, if it wasn't for that judge, I would end up being in prison, doing a longer sentence, probably won't be in the headspace and the mindset I was in now, because I was sort of like prepared to go in, I was also prepared to come out. So I was ready to make a change. And then the judge said to me one thing, he said, look, if I give you this opportunity to come out, you got to do something to give back to the community. And I had that in me, and I explained that to him way before he even gave me that opportunity. That's what created our business. That's what literally led to the success that we've got now. You know, our first approach into the business was to give back to the community. And it was that thought process where I was born Muslim, but I never really practiced it until I sort of went to prison. So when I was in prison, I sort of find my respect and my love towards God, that this was like a sign from God to sort of like not abuse it. And I kept playing that in the back of my head, that judge gave me an opportunity, but this opportunity was given to me by God, that I should not abuse it. So when I came out, it was really hard. It was really, really hard. Obviously, having a criminal record and trying to find a career and a path that you can use to sort of find discipline or find ways where you can sort of create something. I wasn't like a well-educated kid, and I have got no GCSEs. You know, even when I was in school, I was like always getting kicked out of school. So I never really saw myself going back into school. But I had a passion in like being very creative, you know, having so much energy. I was good with people. I was good as a good leader, you know, especially when I was like involved in gangs. I was easily influencing people into doing things. So I just thought, what can I do to sort of, you know, create something? So I found a little passion when the judge made me do like Kicks. Have you heard of Kicks?
No, I haven't heard of it.
It's like a youth organisation where you coach young people into football.
Right, okay.
So I was never into football or anything, but the fact that I started to get sort of like satisfaction of just helping people and, you know, helping the youth and just coaching people and stuff and gaining that respect and just like sort of like delegating and then seeing the results after that.
Gaining that respect in a healthy way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was going through like a weight loss transaction. Before in prison, I was known in the streets as Chubbs. I was just a fat kid. So obviously going in that prison stuff made me actually lose a lot of weight, got fit, started working out. So my only escape and one of my probation conditions was to actually go to the gym. So I started finding this passion and this energy of like working out, feeling good, gaining my confidence. I used to lack a lot of confidence in getting girls, you know, and like being accepted. Like I think a lot of the things I did when I was young was I was always afraid I would never be accepted.
Yeah.
So that was one of my fears, like, and that's the reason why I think I did what I did. So I lost a lot of weight, and also I started getting loads of attention. I gained a lot of followers back then on like BlackBerry Messenger. At the time, that's what we used to use, and I had a lot of people pinging me one day. I put before and after, saying, "Oh look, how did you lose weight? You know, you look amazing." All of a sudden, I started getting loads of attention from girls, and it just felt weird. It felt different, and I wasn't really like expecting that. And a lot of my friends were like in the music thing, so I was like get my face out there as much as I can, just try to sort of like get my name back out there. But then again, I was still easily influenced to going back to do what I was doing on the roads. And yeah, so my time after prison literally got given an opportunity to now do my PT course. Once I was qualified, I just tried to understand like how can I use what I've been through, what I've done, what I'm capable of doing into creating something huge. So I never knew I was going to become very successful, especially at the rate I became successful now. But I believed in myself, you know, and I just took advantage of every failure, every pain, every struggle I had to go through, everything that, you know, I was once told that I can't or I shouldn't do, and just started to use what I had around me to my own advantage. So a lot of people get given opportunities, but they don't use it properly.
Yeah.
They either abuse it, or they waste it, or they don't like, you know, truly believe in themselves or believe that they've got this advantage that they can just maximize the use of it. So, yeah.
How did you cope with, so you come out and you've decided to take a completely different path in life. Was there any backlash from like people in your community who were still hustling, who were like, come on man, come back? For 2 years, literally was hard. Like, that's how I ended up getting stabbed. Right,
you know,
okay.
Like, I was like, karma was getting back to me for whatever I put out there. You know, and again, obviously I still lived in that same estate, so all the gang affiliation stuff was still going on. Even just doing my PT course and stuff, I was just struggle to even let the man them know that I'm trying to go to the route of doing something legit.
Yeah.
And where I gained such a big respect, people all of a sudden be like, yo, you change. And that change mentality used to affect me a lot, because I used to have to feel like, oh, I have to go out there and still prove myself, and I did. And it was just catching up. Got arrested for a few other things after that, but a bus case. And the last final thing was when I got married. That was like my sort of escape. At the age of 18 I got married basically, and that was my sort of like mentality and mindset to be like, you know what, I need to escape from this. And my way of dealing with it was to give up everything I had and just try to start something with someone. And I thought by doing that it will give me like a better understanding, or give me some sort of responsibility now to, you know, take my life serious a little bit more. It was weird because I feel like where I had to deal with so much pressure from my family no longer did even motivate me at the time. I started losing that respect and my motivation for my family, and like even just being selfish didn't work, because I was like to myself, I'm good both ways. I'm good at the hustling and doing the crazy shit, but I'm also good at creating something, doing something productive and trying to do it the right way. Like I didn't really struggle when I was in prison. I didn't struggle when I was on the roads. Neither did I struggle when I tried to do the right things. So I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna try use a new way of life. So I started studying, had to become successful and all these crazy things. Like I had to make money, you know, I had to be legit. And everyone who I used to listen to or like be inspired by or sort of like learn will talk about, you know, how important a relationship is with someone, how important, you know, settling down, how important, like, you know, to take that initial risk, you got to literally drop everything out. But that was a big fear for me at the time.
Yeah, because you're changing everything you've known growing up.
And also, like, financially it's hard, especially if you haven't got money.
Oh, of course, yeah. So your community have seen you going legit, getting married. So I imagine there's people who are sort of judging, maybe even hating a little bit as well.
The hate got so crazy that I ended up getting burgled, you know, by people that I knew. And I was like, that's why I just knew after getting stabbed the second time, being burgled, like getting married and having that hate, trying to go legit, trying to apply for jobs where people are not giving you that job because of your criminal record, I just like went crazy. And then my cousin, who grew up as my best friend, brother, whatever you want to call it, he was just involved in an acid attack.
Right.
He was acid in the face.
Someone
shot.
Done it to him.
Yeah, he was shot and stabbed. And then like
because of all of this stuff that was going on with you.
This whole affiliation that we were going through. And when that hit me, I was like, rare, like, this is crazy. And I don't know what your involvement was, but I feel like when you go to prison, you still like become a bit more savage.
Yeah.
Like spending time in this prison cell. No one knows what it feels like to be isolated until you're really isolated, until like you're in a vulnerable position where like
of course
you're not in control of your time.
What was it in Feltham? I'm guessing it. Yeah. For me, it was like 24-hour bang up.
Yeah, exactly.
Similar. Yeah. And
similar.
I think like
pretty much basically 24 hours, even more sometimes.
All you do is just, it's like if you locked a dog in a cage for that long, what would happen to the dog? The dog would come out and bite someone.
Exactly.
And I think, that's I relate to what you're saying as well.
Yeah.
I come out,
but
with
also
a lot of
it's
anger.
really hard when you're 15. You don't have that. Now I think about how did I even process of accepting to be banged up? Like how do I let that? How can I, like, how am I living right now knowing that people took full advantage of my childhood? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even from like just being in prison, just surrounding myself with other savages. Because it's like when you put two pit bulls in the room, they start barking, start fighting, start biting, and that's what it was like. And it was like survival mode upon survival mode upon survival mode. Yeah. And just dealing with people who talk to you in a certain way, and like what the governors are like. If they don't like it, they don't like you. And they're gonna make your time in prison hard. Yeah. So it wasn't really like just the people in prison or just accepting you got to serve time. I think it was just like the energy. And just being around rapists, being around people, who've murdered someone, like you're taking in that energy.
Yeah, of course.
And like you're sitting next to a man who, has slaughtered his girlfriend, and you're thinking like, what's going through his mind right now?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's
course,
this guy on? Like,
yeah.
And then like, but you have to all of a sudden engage with it and accept it and respect him, and gain the respect back,
and you're forced to share a cell with people like that. They just open the door, boom. Now you got to share, you got to sleep, share everything in front of this guy who has committed these.
See what I'm saying?
It's tough. Tough.
It's crazy.
But so you come out, you've decided, and this is where I think your story is just incredible, because you come out, you want to change, your house gets burgled, you get stabbed again, your cousin gets acid thrown in his face, he gets stabbed or shot, did you say?
Yeah, he got shot and he got stabbed. And it's like, for anyone else, I think that is like, this is enough, I'm just going to go back to this old way of life, but you didn't, and that shows me. But there was that full process there, because when me and my cousin was so close, he ended up getting arrested and get sent to prison, for retaliating with a gun. Right, okay. And that was in the space of 3 months. Imagine that, just being acid, you come out of hospital, all of a sudden you're in prison, now you get sent to 6 years for it. Right, okay. Blimey. But then like, this guy is like, he wasn't just my brother, he was like my actual brother. Yeah. My relationship with my cousin was more than just a cousin, so, and that was like a massive loss. The loss is the fact that I had to accept what happened, and then had to sort of like navigate my rest of my life, knowing that, I have to accept it, live it, and the fact we knew who did it as well. Just that thought process was a bit too much. Of not seeking revenge. Exactly. Yeah. Then obviously just being married, having that responsibility, all of a sudden like, you're trying to be an adult now. And then you got the responsibility, you're still dealing with the financial stuff. My dad's no longer in the country. My other brother's come out of prison. He hasn't got a job. Right. He's got a baby in the way. So it's crazy. Just your dad was deported back to Algeria? No, he just left. Right, he just left. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And you know what, before he left, it was crazy. I was like in the process of doing my PT course. And it was like the last conversation I had with him at the time, and it was quite deep. But I use that a lot now when it comes to like accepting how far I've come. Was he laughed at me at one point and said to me, "Look, like, you really think like you're gonna carry on being this father figure you want to be? You really think you're gonna sustain and keep making money to look after the family?" He sort of laughed at me and said, like, the route and the way you're going ain't gonna get you nowhere, and this way you're gonna. And he said, "This is what you wanted, and this is what you guys want as a family. This is what you have to sit and live with." So when he left, that was like my drive. That was like, fuck it, let's go. And let's go get it. Let's go legit. But I loved it. And I love him for that now, and I thank him every day for that. Because that was a big spark, into achieving things. Not overcoming anything, because if anything, it made it hard for me to just accept the fact my dad didn't believe in me, even at these points where we accepted him to come back to the family at the time. Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Sometimes that comment can also be like a positive. I know I had it when I left prison the last time, and one of the guards was like, "We'll see you in a couple of weeks, Maisey," because I'd been in and out so much, and it was almost like I wanted to prove him, "Nah, you won't. I'm not coming back."
But see that people need that.
Sometimes
I use that with my clients. I use that with people around me. I believe in pressure. I believe in like not bullying. Bullying sounds a bit harsh, but I believe in like making people understand that, you know what, if you don't get put in a vulnerable position, if you don't get told off, if you don't, sometimes get to the point where you feel shit about yourself sometimes, or let someone like sort of put on you, you will never overcome what you're actually going for, what you want to achieve. So that point there helped me a lot in creating this mindset. And then,
so you've got your business now. So this is where Pro PT comes in, right? So it's you're qualified PT. You're building your clients, and obviously your Instagram page at Pro PT. You work with a lot of big brands and stuff, globally known brands. And you're giving back as well to the community.
That's right.
You're giving back like the free classes and stuff like that. So tell us a bit more about that, because this is where I think the story just gets, gets really exciting.
So one of the things I wanted to understand after I was qualified was like, how was I going to be accepted and getting a job? And then I started looking at, how much money I wanted to earn. And all the local gyms in Tottenham, the salary base was shit. And I said, you know what, that's not going to help me. It's not going to work out to what I want to do. And how much money I need to earn to carry and sustain in my goals. So I started going on Google and start researching like 60k plus jobs in PT and stuff, and all the ones that were available were out of the area where I'm living now. And I said, you know what, this one's interested, let me try to send my CV. So I sent my CV, no one got back to me. I turned up, tried to speak to the managers, got rejected. And all the local gym, I tried like 8-9 different gyms in the area where I had that salary base of 60k plus, and for me I was drawn to that instantly. And then I thought, it's going to be easy. I've got my PT course, I'm trying to get into shape, so I've got the chat, simple, I'm going to get a job. And then it was like my criminal record now. Boom. X. Everywhere I went sort of pretty much rejected me. So then I said, look, there must be a better approach now. Like, I remember in the streets, if you wanted to sell something to a dealer, the best way of dealing with it was giving him a sample. Giving him something free. So I was like, you know what, let me ask him if I can work here for free. Let me use that skill sets of just to get myself in there. And I thought,
proper
simple.
Entrepreneurial, that is.
See what I'm saying?
That is great.
And to understand at the age of 18, like, it was just like, this is why I respect what I learned in the streets, and this is why I respect what I went through. And I said, I'm going to use that to my own advantage. I'm going to ask if I can work it for free, because I've got nothing to lose. And I kept developing this mindset, I used to see a lot what my friends were doing at the time, my school friends and stuff, and I used to see they were in like vulnerable position, even though they had better advantages than me, even though they never had a criminal record and they stayed in school, they're struggling and they're going to go into universities and start their life off with a debt. And I was like, I don't want that. And I saw the way they were heading to like drinking, doing drugs and stuff, and that's something I never got myself into. Even when I was on the road, I never got myself into it. And I said, I don't even mind working it for free. I said, I know what it feels like to bang up 23 hours and a half and get paid 50p a day to work in prison. So like me working it for free, it's a no-brainer. And at the same time, I had my side hustle. I used to run a rickshaw bike business in central London, doing tuk-tuk bikes. And I said, if that can maintain and sustain the bills, I don't mind working for free Monday to Friday and doing the tuk-tuk in the weekend. That eventually, after 3-4 gyms I tried, one of them accepted me. And in the beginning, I never showed them my criminal record, and they were so drawn into having me there, because like, look, I'm gonna have this guy for free, he's gonna work.
You proved yourself, basically.
Yeah.
So I mean, just that alone, working Monday to Friday for free, and then on the Saturday and Sunday you're driving them sort of tuk-tuk bikes around central London. Yeah.
Still running my own business by doing that.
I mean, that's just that alone is real hustle.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
And it wasn't just like 9 to 5. I'm talking about we're on those bikes 20 hours a day.
Yeah, they go all round through the night, don't they?
Right through the night.
Yeah.
Crazy. And you learn a lot from that as well. You learn people skills. You learn to drive, you learn to work in any weather condition, whether it's cold, whether it's hot. You learn to deal with all kind of people, because the only way you're going to make money is by getting customers in the back of it. But those skill sets helped me a lot when I became a personal trainer to get my clients. Yeah,
it's people skills, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. Customer service, basically.
100%. Also understanding who's going to be the right customer. who's the right client. You know, where you're gonna get the right client. You can't just go on TikTok. But you're not just gonna get everyone to jump on there. Sometimes it's about what you're willing to offer this person. So yeah, managed to get my first job there, and then I thought, yeah, simple. I got my foot in there, got my job, tried to build a relationship with the managers, the PTs, and I started to realize it was a dodgy world. Like PT world isn't what it seems like. Like everyone here is to hustle for themselves.
Yeah, cool.
So I said, this is like drug dealing basically. This is like another dealer trying to deal, and everyone's in it for themselves. And I was like, rare, like this is crazy. And there's a lot of like, you know, politics going on here. I thought, you know what, forget, I'm the youngest. They all looked at me as like the youngest in the room. He's not going to get nowhere. He's not going to get far. People in the gym there that had 10 years experience. And that, in the beginning, I'm not glad to, made me feel a bit vulnerable. You know, I was like, rare, like this is going to be hard. But I thought, what are these lot offering that people buy into? And what's missing in the industry? What is it that's something I can bring to the table now? And then I tried it for like 3 months, and I started to realize, you know what? It's not about what I can bring to the table. It's about the value you bring to the customers, the members, the people around you. You know, everyone's here in it for themselves. Everyone's here to make money, but the reason these lot are making money, because fair enough, they built a brand for themselves, or maybe, you know, someone's in desperate need to actually have a personal trainer, so they're gonna, you know, reach out to personal trainer. But I said, how about the rest of them who don't have that advantage, don't have the privilege to have a personal trainer, but actually need the needs to gain results? And also at the same time, I'm like studying entrepreneur, like ways of like growing a business, you know, customer service, building a brand. Like I was using Gary Vee a lot at the time to sort of like gain my sort of knowledge, motivation and stuff. And he kept talking a lot about value. And I just remember the day when I offered that when I was doing those free classes, I was youth, the satisfaction I was getting out of it. And then as I was in the gym, I was looking around, I was like, I'm going to start offering free PT sessions. And I thought it was as simple as that. People are going to come over, forgetting that the PTs in the gym are going to fucking hate me for that.
Yeah, of course.
Because you're going to take customers and you're going to take business. And no one there was willing to work for free. People had the overheads, they had expenses going on. And after 3 months working out, I got divorced. So I was only married for like 6 months. And I said to myself, look, I'm broke. Like the little tuk-tuk money I'm making is paying my mum's bills. I can't go back to the ends, I've been stabbed. I'm going to make full advantage of this 24-hour gym. And I'm going to live here, I'm going to sleep here, I'm going to be the first person in this gym and the last person to leave. And that's what I did. I got myself a sleeping bag.
Wow.
And I just started like coaching in the disabled toilet, making sure I was the first one in that gym at 6 o'clock in the morning when the doors were open and people were coming in, offering free classes, free personal training, working right through the day. And I just said to myself, one day I'm going to convert all this free shit into paid work. Wow, and the fact that I'm creating habits of like doing something legit, something I wanted to be involved in, something I enjoyed and I liked, I didn't care if I was working for free. I'm gaining skill sets that if you're looking to get paid, you won't gain these skill sets, because training 4 clients ain't the same as training 20 clients a day or 16 clients a day.
It's true, yeah.
You know, like offering free shit and actually gaining results teaches you a lot about who you are and what you expect from people and what you're willing to offer to people than when you're getting paid. Because when you get paid, you can get really lazy. You know, you can get comfortable. You stop wanting to sort of like develop new skill sets and become better at what you do. So for me, it was like offering this free work and making sure I'm putting in the work and the hours in there that I'm just getting an experience. And I kept saying to myself, I'm going to give myself 1-2 years, because this is what an average 20-year-old would do if he went to university, but start his life off with a debt. I didn't have that debt. The only debt I was creating was the fact I wasn't making money. But for me, it's like, forget the money, because right now I'm building a brand.
So where is it at now? Where is Pro PT at now? So obviously you've built it now. So it's gone big. I mean, global, it looks like you've got a massive following. It's
not even about the followers, it's the people that we actually, you know, work with, the clientele, the demand. Like just coming here today, I was scrolling from Instagram, just seeing 10 new inquiries. These are things I used to like. I used to like want and wish. And obviously once you have it, you sort of forget it. But like it's just exciting. It gives me a thrill to see that, you know, look how far we've come. I went from begging people to work with me for free to now charging premium rate.
And sleeping in the disabled toilet.
To now like living in an 8-bedroom house.
Unbelievable story.
In touches, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's great.
Like conversion phase, I'm only 23. You know, like to want to like hustle and training people who were like in desperate needs to now be like, I can tailor my workouts and my training to whoever I want. And like when I understood social media and wanted to build a platform for myself, I just knew I had to work with influencers, and that's what I did. I gained the following, start offering the same services, using the same strategic that I used in the beginning when I worked in the gym, to offer free training session to the members, to now offering it to people who I want to work with, and then growing that foundation on social media.
Yeah, it's amazing, mate. I mean, it's such a great story, especially for young men who are stuck in that system and don't
100%.
know how to make a change. You also do some stuff with Impact on the Street, which is a homeless charity.
That's
so
right.
tell us a little bit about that and your involvement with them, because I think that's an important thing. Is like, you've built this business, but you haven't forgot about where you come from. You're going back and you're trying to pull other people up as well.
So with the homeless thing, I've always just felt connected with homeless people. I've always wanted to help them. And obviously when I took that initial, challenge to sort of sleep in the safe toilet, I was pretty much homeless at the time, but it was such a short period of my life, and I was like, and still in good comfort. But there was a guy who really hit me, who was actually disabled for homeless for 6 years, who used to sleep in the apartment where the gym was, and I used to see him every single day, and he would just sit there and read books. And then I started to get to know him a little bit and stuff. And he gave me the confidence to take that initial risk of just sleeping in the disabled toilet and giving up everything I had, not worrying about money and whatnot, and just to sort of work hard, because he was just telling me about his experience. And obviously it's a bit long to go into his story, but once I felt that he comforted me to do what I wanted to do, which has helped me and led me into all this success, that I just believe that and then they were human beings, innit? And if you actually spend the time to speak to these people, they're the most humble,
I agree.
They're probably one of the best people to seek advice from, because they've seen life from one extreme to another. And it's not like Africa where people are born into the sort of poverty. When it comes to London, a lot of these people fall into it and sort of older age. Nowadays obviously you see a lot more young homeless people, but these people come from business class. These people come from families, these people come from opportunities. Some of them obviously been in prison and stuff, but to live from one extreme to another extreme, it's fucking hard.
Yeah, I agree.
To sleep in the streets, it ain't like sleeping in a hostel or sleeping in a prison cell. It's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah, of course.
I
think it's great, mate. I think
100%.
Your story's great. Everything that you're doing's great. We'll have to get you to come into one of the prisons with me sometime
100%.
to come and help
We've
me.
done a few work in Feltham. We've been asked to do work now in Pentonville, but I'm down, bro.
I'll give you a shout.
There's a lot of value. There's a lot of things we can do. We also try to help a lot of ex-offenders who've come out. So that's the big thing that I think, where I'm trying to bridge a gap, where I'll be sort of connecting guys who come out with people like you to 100%.
say, look, have a chat with Yusef, and
Definitely, all for
get
that.
your PT qualifications and work your way up the ladder.
Well, look what James doing from LDNM.
Well, that's you
that's
qualified with him, didn't you? With James Exton from
yeah.
London Muscle. So he's another guy out there who's helping and trying to make
Massively.
a difference. So for anyone who wants to find you on social media, where do we find you?
Just Pro PT on Instagram at the moment.
Pro PT.
Literally
All right.
Pro PT.
Reach out. Mate, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, bro.
And just keep doing what you're doing, mate.
100%.
Keep inspiring people.
Definitely.
Good stuff, man. I think anyone listening can agree that story is just incredible. Sort of the life he had, turning it all around, then coming out of prison, trying to make a change, stabbed twice, sleeping in a disabled toilet, to now, owning a globally known brand and business. It's inspirational for all of us. So hope you enjoyed today's episode. Leave a like or a rating and let us know what you think. Thanks.